want to segue into that because one of the parts of the work that was done in this work that's called Demonology in form of dialogue in 3 books. One of the things that it discourages is practicing astrology. They said that astronomy can be practiced, but not astrology. So under new management, I'm going to keep stressing that, under new management. So yeah, they didn't want us to. Didn't want us to study like that. Uh, we're not going to get into political position or anything like that, y'all. We're just going to leave it as neutral as possible. So we're going to keep it so that we can just kind of stay focused. But astronomy and astrology are different because astronomy is the study of the physical placement of the heavenly bodies, or in their case, they would just say the planets, the sun, the moon, the stars of the constellation. That's the physical study. But astrology is the spiritual study. So the essence of certain energies within the constellations, within what are called astrological signs. There are noted of 12 astrological signs. So that is what astrology is. So, within our practice, I mentioned that the culture for centuries have basically practiced astrology, and we recognize astronomy as well when it comes to the science, what they call the science. But we're going to just focus on the name. Astronomy is a physical placement, and then astrology being a spiritual placement, an essence of energy. And we recognize always physical or natural, as well as non-physical and supernatural. So the 2 distinctions are important when it comes to our community and the culture. So we always like to stress that and let people know we're talking about 2 different things, but they are very similar, very similar. right? That's a good question, y'all. So birth chart is nativity. Nativity is a branch of astrology. Birth chart is a way to take a snapshot, logging the stars at the time of birth, where your sun was, your moon. There's also the north node as well. There's other aspects of it that we get into a little bit more in a lot of our work. All right, let's look at our next question. Someone was talking about Sybil Talk podcast. Yes, yes. We've had our podcast on a hiatus, put into hiatus at this point. A hiatus, I always like to say hiatus and a sabbatical all wrapped up into one. So it's a hiatus. But we'll be back. They like the tea time. I love the tea time too, y'all. So tea time with High Priestess Maven, and we were doing the acts of KJDS, but we've had a switch with the acts of KJDS, which we're going, y'all get this, y'all ready for this? With the BMA platform, we are going AI. They call it artificial intelligence. We're calling it anointed intelligence. So artificial intelligence has become anointed intelligence on the BMA platform. So very excited about that. So we put the podcast into a hiatus and a sabbatical all smushed together. And but we're coming back definitely with that, and tea time will be there. I want to share something about tea time, y'all. I always like to say I am old enough to remember and young enough not to forget a lot of our traditions. So that was one of the outside questions, which is not a part of what I'm interviewing on today. But they were. I wanted to share this about tea time. I shared this with someone else, so I want to talk about it here as well. But tea time and what I remember, again, I'm old enough to remember, but young enough not to forget. But back in the day, where tea time comes from, it was a social gathering. Tea time was for a time for the ladies to get together and to discuss things of the society, things that were going on in the community and in the culture. That's what we did. So everybody does it differently. We all have different fingerprints, toe prints, footprints, handprints. And, irises are all different. So we're going to be different. Okay. So many people coming through the world. But just to bring it back to our culture, we would actually have tea time as a social time. And then the next thing about it, a lot of people may not know. They might know that part. But what I remember the mothers saying is that they used the hot water to drink the hot water, because at certain times there were no refrigerator. At one point, there was no refrigeration system like we have now.